Hey guys, welcome to the Bows. Today we'll be talking about the upcoming boxing match between Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley. So there's been a lot of talk back and forth on who's going to win this fight. I know Jake's a minus 190 favorite, and I think it should be a pick'em because we really don't know how good both guys are. There's a lot of uncertainty. We know Tyron hasn't looked good as of late in terms of his MMA performances, but this is boxing and he's never been known as a boxer. He throws heavy hands. We all know he's got power, but he's never been known as a technically sound, good boxer. And Jake knocked out a couple YouTubers, a basketball player, and the worst striker you could possibly pick of someone who performed MMA at the elite level. And Ben was completely out of shape, and I doubt he trained much for it. And the main thing is, besides being in shape, is that he's just a horrible boxer. He's never been a good striker in any sense of the word. And the thing about Ben, when you take away his biggest weapon and pretty much almost his only weapon that he relies on in MMA, because it was so elite when he was at his prime, was his wrestling. So you take away his ability to get the fight to the ground, then he's pretty much lost. So the interesting thing about Tyron is that Tyron obviously usually doesn't use all that much offensive wrestling. I mean, he has at times, but he doesn't rely on it the same way Ben does, or even close to that amount. Tyron's also hard to put away. I mean, we've seen Vicente Luque hurt him and then was able to choke him out. And in the fights before that, he was getting a lot of strikes put on him and he wasn't being put away. I mean, yes, you can argue that Colby Covington and Gilbert Burns, who were completely outstriking him and hurting Woodley badly in the striking, aren't elite strikers. But I don't think you could say that Jake Paul's an elite striker either. And it's just boxing, so Woodley's not going to have to worry about a takedown or a leg kick or getting kicked in the body or kicked in the head or something like that. It's all punches. And although Jake's been focusing on that for a few years, it's only been a few years. If he's elite by now, then he's a prodigy. But I don't think that's the case. It could be, but there's no proof of that yet. Even though it's a different sport, boxing versus MMA, given that these MMA fighters couldn't put Tyron Woodley away easily, with the exception of Vicente Luque, who actually wasn't able to really put him away easily, in the sense that, yes, it was the first round that he was able to choke him out, but he actually was able to clip Vicente and put him in danger, and Vicente had to work for it, and Vicente is an assassin. He puts everybody away. He's such a finisher. So the point being that if these elite MMA fighters are having a lot of difficulty putting Woodley away when Woodley's performing horribly, then I have a hard time believing that Jake Paul is going to put Woodley away early, the way he's saying. He's saying that Woodley's not going to make it out of the first two rounds, and I really don't see that. I have a hard time visualizing that. I'm not saying I can't see Woodley losing. I could see him getting outboxed and losing a decision or losing a late TKO or something like that. But I don't know. I just have a hard time seeing it. I mean, there's a lot of incentive for Jake to win. I mean, this isn't Triller anymore, so I doubt any foul play will occur. Like the Ben Askren stoppage, I mean, Ben was on his way to losing anyway pretty soon, but that was an early stoppage for boxing. He got up, he was fine, and the ref just stopped the fight. That was kind of weird. But Ben was on his way to losing anyway, but it was just a weird look. In terms of paths to victory, I can't speak much on game planning on how Jake Paul should go about fighting Woodley. We don't know enough about Jake Paul in his boxing career to know where his strengths and weaknesses really are. All his fights have been really quick against non-competitors in terms of the boxing world. So I don't really know what to say with that. I guess try and keep it technical if you're Jake Paul. Stick and move on the outside. Try and make it a technical boxing match if you think you're the better boxer, obviously. And pick your shots and put together combinations, you know? And if you're Woodley, in my opinion, you're fighting a guy who's relatively inexperienced, right? 3 pro fights against fighters that were no threat to him at all in the striking department. I'd say try and rush him early, you know? Come out hot like he did against Vicente Luque. I know it didn't go well for him, but Vicente Luque is a monster, so I don't think we could say Jake Paul is that monster. At least not yet. There's no proof of it. So Woodley, I'd say come out swinging hard and fast in the beginning, try and overwhelm Jake. Maybe he catches him early, but if not, it'll get Jake thinking. But he's got to also make sure to not gas out early too, Woodley. That's important. This will be an interesting one because this is actually Jake Paul's first real test fighting Woodley. The one thing I will say about Jake Paul is that he's got everything he could want at his disposal because he has so much money. He's got the coaches, he could pay for the nutritionist. He took his whole camp out to Puerto Rico to train there. So it'll be very interesting to see if he can progress in the boxing world and in his skill set much faster than the average person can. I know a lot of people don't like Jake Paul, and people are rooting for Woodley more now than ever. I'm more of an MMA fan more than boxing by a long shot, so I'm just rooting for Woodley by default for that reason. Although I do know there are a lot of boxing people that are rooting against Jake Paul, even though he's kind of representing the boxing side. A lot of people don't want to say that he is because he's very new to boxing and hasn't proved to be a veteran yet and may never prove himself to be that good, but he is acting like he is that good. So we'll see. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. We'll find out. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So let me know what you think's going to happen. Leave a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think's going to happen. All right? Till next time, peace.